Okay, so in this session we will discuss about how to debug whenever we are using common API, web API gateway, microservice. If you have only one template, one API solution, then you know how to debug it. Okay, so here I have divided in this debugging in different ways, like debugging between web API, gateway, and microservice. Okay, so and debugging for common API and microservice. Debugging for all. Okay, first one is web API gateway and microservice. So here in this, I am going to take only web API gateway and microservice. So one test method is there. Okay, and see, I am putting all this code in comment. Okay, and execute again, and this one is also execute again. Okay, so I am considering only web API gateway and microservice, and go to here, debugging, create launch.json. Okay, make sure that app.ts should be there, and next go to the web API gateway, and so I am using test method. Okay, so put the breakpoints. Okay, and create the launch.json. So execute, start debugging. Okay, here I didn't stop this. So start debugging. Okay, so once you are getting connected to 5000 and connected to where it is microservice, yeah, so connected to specified port, then go to here where it is test API, yeah, test. Okay, click on send button, and see, department control web API gateway API solution will be highlighted. Okay, will be blinked, and here click on step over. Okay, so if you click on this button means it will go to the next debugging point, next break point. If you click on this one means it will go to next line. Okay, so observe carefully. Now we are in web API gateway. If you click on this second button, see, we are going to microservice. Okay, next click on second button. So if you click on next button, then we will move to web API gateway. See this web API gateway. Okay, next. Okay, and go to the postman. They are getting the message response. Okay, so this is the way to put the debugging and common API and microservice. Okay, so now I'm going to stop all these debuggings, and this time I am taking common API and microservice only. Okay, so observe carefully, and here so microservice, and this time I am taking all this uncommented code. Okay, and execute again. Okay, and terminate and start debugging here. Mm, so put the breakpoints in this function. Okay, so this is the function only. In this function only we are calling that web API common API method. Okay, and here go to the web API, sorry, not web API common method. So in this function only we are calling one method which is available in common API. Okay, now go to the common API and put the breakpoints in this method. Put the breakpoints. So create launch.json. Okay, make sure that app.ts is available or not. Okay, and click on debugging. Okay, connected to 4000, and here click on debugging. Okay, see, if you click on next, see earlier next breakpoint, see earlier it was microservice. Okay, now it is changed to common API. Okay, so next, if we click on again this button, it will go to microservice, series microservice. Okay, why? Because whenever control is at this point, then it will call this API. Means if you put breakpoints in that API method also, then immediately control goes to that API method, and then you can check one by one. Okay, so that's it. Okay, we are getting details connected to which database. All these uh, messages will display. So that is nothing but debugging between common API and microservice. Now debugging between common API, web API gateway and microservice. So here again, wait a minute. So put the debugging mode. This is common API. Okay. Next, web API gateway. Better to execute again. Now we will check which API. Yeah, we will check this get department Mongo details. Okay, and here this is the microservice API. Now, so in common API, debugging already started. Okay, and here click on this button, web API gateway. Okay, see, it is also already started. Next, go to here, microservice, click on this button. So here control is get connection details function. Okay, so one by one click on this, observe carefully here, click on this button, and whenever, now if you click on this button it will go to common API. Where it is, yeah, common API. Okay, so now if you click on this again, this button, it will go to microservice. See, microservice. Okay, see, once this console messages are displayed in console, then we will go to the postman, and where it is, yeah, this is the API method. Click on send button. See this, web API gateway will be blinked. Okay, and click on this next. Now control is in web API gateway. If you click on again, step over, then it will go to microservice. In that microservice, respective method will be there. So control goes to that method, get department Mongo data. So click on this, see, get department Mongo data microservice. Okay, so click on, and okay, so if you click on again this button, then now control is in microservice. So control change it to web API gateway. Here it is. Again we will check. Stop. So click on debugging in common API, and web API gateway and microservice, and see, if you click on this button, then immediately control goes to common API. So common API, and okay, now it is available. Then in this, if I take 10, then send button. See, department controller, I mean web API gateway will be blinked, and click on this. If you click on again next this button, control goes to microservice. See, microservice. So if you click on this button, so web API gateway, yeah. So if you click on this button, so it is going to catch block. Yeah, see, control goes to this web API gateway. Okay. Now go to the postman, result is displayed. Okay. So this is the way to work with debugging. So